Hey Fresties, welcome back to Wattpad Wednesdays. Today I'm going to be taking you through my process of how I make copyright-free aesthetics using Canva. So if you haven't heard of Canva before, basically what it is a website where you can make graphics that are going to be copyright-free and easy for you to use without worrying about having to purchase any images or fonts. And you can either use the free version or you can get the pro version of Canva for, I think it's $13 a month. So it is kind of pricey for the pro version, but with the free version, there is still a lot that you can do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go to canva.com and open up a canvas that is 1152 pixels by 1152 pixels. So we're just making a square. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go into the Elements tab on the left-hand side, scroll down to the Grids section, and the first one that you see should just be a plain square. So I'm going to click that. It's going to go over to my canvas, and holding Shift, I'm going to resize it down just to make it smaller. And I am just going to duplicate this square 6 times so that it's covering the bottom 2/3 of the canvas. I'm leaving the top third blank so that later I can add the name of the character for the aesthetic, or if this was a book aesthetic, I would put the name of the book. So once you have these squares down, what you're going to do is find your pictures. Now, the positive thing about making this in Canva is that you don't have to worry about copyright if you use the images that are already in the Canva creator. So what I like to do is just go to the search bar in the Elements section, and I will just type in any keyword that really resonates with my character or book. If it's a character, for example, you can type in things like their hair color or their hobbies or their career, the location where they live, anything that gives you an inkling about who they are, and just really helps a reader understand the vibe of your character just by looking at a picture. Now, when you type in these words, you're going to notice there's a lot of different types of pictures. So for this particular instance, I like to just click on photos and scroll through just the photographs that are offered by Canva. And you will see that many of them are only available for pro subscriptions, but there are still a ton that are available for free and that look good. On the off chance that you cannot find an image to use on Canva, there are definitely other websites you can go to for copyright-free images. My favorite is Unsplash. If you're struggling to find one on Canva, that is always an option as well. So when I'm looking for photographs, while the main thing I'm focusing on is the way that the pictures relate to my characters, another thing that I am looking for are pictures that have similar colors and lighting. These are going to look better together and more cohesive as a whole. But I don't get too particular about this either, because you can adjust them later with different, brightness, contrast, different filters, all that stuff. So I try not to worry about that too much. And I also am not worrying about the placement at this point. I am just putting the pictures that I want in there, and I will figure out the layout later. The process of finding photos is not fast or easy. I will just go ahead and say that. Even on a website like Pinterest, which has millions of pictures, it's still not fast or easy. So it is going to take a while, especially if you have specific things in mind for your graphic. It's a long process, but it's one that I find to be quite fun. So once I have all my 6 pictures, now it's time to rearrange them and find a layout that I like. So what I'm trying to do here is balance the heaviness of the images, if that makes sense. Like, I probably don't want 2 really busy pictures right next to each other. I would rather have them on opposite sides of the graphic. In that same respect, I'm trying to also balance the colors throughout the layout so that, I don't have 2 images that have bright blue right next to each other and then no bright blue throughout the rest of the graphic. Really, this portion for me is all about finding balance and just making the images look good together. This step is sort of intertwined also with making any adjustments, because if I notice that one image in particular isn't really fitting in or something, I will go in and work on the brightness, the contrast, maybe even the color hue, just doing what I can to make it more cohesive with the other images that I have picked. And you can go ahead and do this to every photo that you've picked if you think it makes it look better. And another thing that you can do is, if none of the Canva filters do it for you, and maybe you have a different app with your favorite filters on it, like VSCO or Polar or PixArt, whatever it is, what you could do is save this image as it is with just the 6 photographs and bring it into whatever app you have chosen. Crop it down so it's none of the white is showing, it's just the pictures, and then add the filter that you like, whatever makes it look more cohesive to you. You know, maybe you just don't like Canva's editor, that's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of it myself. And then once you have that edited version, you can save it, then bring it back to Canva, upload it to Canva, and just drop it over all the other pictures. So instead of 6 squares, you'll just have one big rectangle now. So that is definitely another way you can do it. But either way, the next step is the same, and that is to write the name of your character or story at the top of the graphic. So that blank 1/3 of space that we have saved for the title or character name. Picking a font is something that I think also takes quite a while to decide on. What I try to do is just make it match the vibe of the book so that I can use it consistently on all of the aesthetics. You could use a different font for every character if you wanted, but for me personally, I just like them all to match, and I like to use the same font for everyone. So I'm not just trying to pick a font that matches my character. I want it to match like the entire vibe of the story. And to pick a color, I do use different colors for each graphic, and I just go in with the eyedropper tool and select a color from the image. I sort of play around with different ones, select a few different ones to see which one looks better, and then I am done once I decide on that. Those are all of my steps for making a copyright-free aesthetic with Canva. So if you want to go ahead and put this in your Wattpad story now, the sizing should be perfect. It's worked great for me every time I've used it. And you don't have to worry about using something that you're not supposed to be using, something that you should be paying for, or something that you don't have permission to use. You know, I think it's very common on Wattpad to use images from Pinterest and the like, but this is a way where you just don't have to worry about disrespecting anyone else's artistic property. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have created your own aesthetics or graphics with Canva. Feel free to like this video if it was helpful, subscribe to the channel if you want more videos about Wattpad, and I hope that I will see you in the next one.